about this particular pair of earrings right here. Um, Hello, and welcome to another episode of Ask a Paranormal Investigator. My name is Matthew, and I'm a paranormal investigator. So feel free to ask me a question. So this episode, we're going to talk about something called psychometry. Now, psychometry is a very interesting type of psychic reading that not very many psychics will claim to do. Every once in a while you find them, and it's kind of interesting, the responses you get. Basically what it is you give them an object, they hold on to that object, and let's see here, what's a good object? So yeah, here's an object. So you basically hand them this object and you let them hold on to it, and then they try to feel for the vibrations and see what they can come up with in terms of the history of the item, the whereabouts of the owner of the item or the person who first owned it, things that are meaningful about the history of the object, and in some cases, the future of the object. Now, the first time that I had any real experience with the psychometry reading was back in March of 2010. Dr. Karen Stollznow and I decided to take a little jaunt over to the Denver Mind Body Spirit Fair, or Expo, in Denver, Colorado. And it took a while, but we found someone who claimed to do psychometry. Now, there are a lot of things to do at the Mind Body Spirit Expo. You can buy like rocks and stuff, and you can sit inside like a weird pyramid and maybe feel something. You can get in like an aura photo, which is always attractive. It tells you what your aura looks like. It's pretty awesome. And you can get psychic readings, and a lot of them. So one of the other things that I did, I don't know if I want to talk about because it required like a rebirthing thing. Well, it was a lot of fun for Karen to watch. She got a good laugh out of it. But anyway, on to the psychometry reading. We found a psychometrist by the name of Gushikawa, born in Okinawa, Japan. And she seemed very warm and sort of grandmotherly like and everything. So we were pretty keen to see what she could tell us about this particular pair of earrings right here that you can't really see. So we walk up to her and sit down, and we had 20 minutes. So she reaches for her tarot card deck, and we said, oh no, we would like a psychometry reading. She's like, really? Yeah. So I hand her the earrings, and she takes those earrings in her hand and she puts them under her desk. And they're there for a long time. Now, with a 20-minute reading, a lot of it seemed to be kind of being burned off by this, but it was beginning to make me wonder is if she was going to come back and go, look, they're gone, or something, and she was going to keep them. So I was watching her very closely to make sure that we got those earrings back. So once she gets all the energy from the earrings, she brings them back out, and she spews this string of words: golden horse's head, canopy bed, white lace, big building, metal, Eiffel Tower, France, basil, gardening, angel wings, heather, ringing chapel bells, Notre Dame, church, spiritual, holy. So what do I say about these words that she was throwing out? Because it seemed like word association. She would say something like big building, metal, Eiffel Tower. It just seemed like she was leading herself to these words. France. Wow, that's brilliant. But none of the words meant anything to us. Now, of course, she had the standard sort of psychic disclaimer. And that standard psychic disclaimer is, if this doesn't mean anything to you right now, don't worry. Take this information with you. And later on, it will mean a lot more. Now, this is an interesting ploy because what this does is it takes all of the burden off of the psychic. Now it's up to you, because if you can't connect the dots, it's not her failure, it's yours. You failed to make this reading good, because she did what she was supposed to do. So that cop out is very clever, and it works so often, because then later you're scrambling to find meaning in those words. You'll get home and you'll turn on the TV and something about France will be on, and you'll go, oh my God, she is psychic. No, she spewed out enough words that one of those is going to hit. That's just kind of how that works. So I'm sitting there thinking that this is the worst reading I've ever had. And then she pipes up, I think this is the best psychometry reading I've ever done. Here are some of her major issues. Okay. She said that the pearls have stronger energy than any other kinds of stones she's ever even worked with. She didn't happen to notice that these earrings are actually costume jewelry, and that it's actually, the pearls are actually peeling off a little bit there. Somehow she missed that. Now, she said the original owner of the earrings has not passed, but is still alive and probably living in France next to the Eiffel Tower, I assume. But unfortunately, in reality, the original owner was deceased. Now, she said that the female owner, she got the female part right, and I don't know what would have made her think it was a female, but she did get that correct. The female owner purchased the earrings when she was 15 or 16. The original owner actually purchased them when she was in her 50s. Boom. She said the earrings were owned by a blood relative of mine, who I never knew, but they were Karen's grandmother's earrings. And Karen knew her until her death in 2001. She assumed the earrings came from the United States, but they had been purchased and worn by the original owner in Australia. So she didn't do very good. Now the thing is there's sort of a phenomenon going on here. One, you're paying for her services, so you want her to be right, and you're going to help her be right as much as possible. And they really have that on their side. But another thing is called hits and misses. Now, the problem with hits and misses is she can be missing and missing and missing, just getting these things wrong, but she hits on one thing accidentally. Boom. That hit is all you remember walking out. Wow, she got everything right. But if you have a recording of it and you can go back and look at some of these psychic readings, you'll see there's a lot more misses than you think. The thing is once they get one hit and you let them know about it, you sort of unconsciously start feeding them, and they can build on that hit and get quite a few more hits. And they're very careful not to say too much, but enough to make you say more that they can then latch onto. So you got to be careful of that trick. Now, the thing is if she had done a little better and maybe spewed out some more random words, she would have gotten some hits. She would have, but she just spewed out a few, and all of them were misses, every one of them. It's amazing how poorly she did, but she got that reading done, and the clock was still ticking. We still had time. So she started just having small talk, but the small talk seemed suspiciously and uncomfortably like flirting, because she asked if Karen and I were brother and sister, and we went along with it. As soon as she got that information, suddenly, I don't know if she thought I was free game or something, but she started saying things like, oh, my ex-boyfriend looked exactly like you. He was very handsome and tall. Yeah, it was kind of uncomfortable. Now, she gave hugs to us both. She tended to linger on my hug a little bit too much. But we walked away with this wonderful experience. We both felt more spiritual and really in the moment with things, and not really. It was unfortunately exactly what we expected it to be. And that is that we've never seen a psychic that didn't use these tricks. And when someone's good at using these tricks, which she was not, they can really pass off a convincing reading. So you have to be very careful what you walk away believing. And with that being said, I'm going to sign off on this episode of Ask a Paranormal Investigator. Please click that like button and subscribe. And if you click the don't like button, at least don't be afraid to tell me why in the comment section. I'm always up for improving things. As you can see from my earlier videos, this channel's coming along. It's getting better. And I'm only going to get better. So if you don't like something, let me know, and I'll see what I can do to improve it next time. Other than that, thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time.